Hello, this is the installation of a mechanical fire damper. Quick photo here of what it looked like at the end, and then we'll go back and show you how it all came together. A client wanted a hole in the wall to get more air into a fire sprinkler room. Because it's a fire rated wall, it needs a fire damper. So we had to cut a hole. Obviously we're cutting bricks back here. Important thing here is we isolated the room. We have a vac so we don't put a lot of dust in the room. And wearing all required PPE. The piece of metal being installed here is called a lintel. This holds the bricks in place above the fire damper, which is a requirement by the Australian standard. We installed it at this stage so the wall would stay in place while we removed the remaining bricks. A quick test to see if it fits, and it doesn't, so we'll chisel out a little bit of mortar here. The lintel is in and the penetration is cleaned out, ready for the damper. So when installing a mechanical damper, we have to consider that the damper will need an expansion gap. This gap allows for expansion of the damper in the event of a fire. Metal heats up, metal expands, we need that to be able to expand. So we've cut the hole for this damper. The minimum requirements for the expansion is the damper size plus 10 mil plus 1% of the damper size. So for example, a 600 by 600 damper would have a 10 mil gap plus 6 mil. This gives us a total of 16 mil expansion. You can have 8 mil expansion on either side of the damper, or top and bottom, or you can have 6 mil on one side and 10 the other. It's also a requirement that in the expansion we have to put a thing called rock wool, which is a fire seal that helps stop the spread of smoke and flames during the fire. This is a little trick that we do so that the damper will go into place nice and smooth. We tape down the edges of the rock wool, the fire seal, so that it slides into the wall nicely. Always got my trusty friend with me to check that it's going to go in. This one's pretty tight, so we'll give it a couple of taps to get it into place. Tap it in, Happy. We'll just tap it in. If you find that the damper is too tight and you've cut that hole, or your existing hole is a little bit too tight, you can tap it in or use other materials to whack it into place so you don't damage the fire damper. Obviously, always put your PPE on. This is a damper in place with the rock wool, nice and tight. We're just checking if there is any spots where some fire seal may need to go, and here we can see a little spot. While the rock wool is packed into any gaps found, the other team member can look at putting the grill on the other side. While this is happening, let's talk about what kind of mechanical damper this is. It's a duct to grill fire damper. That means a duct can be attached to one side, and on the other side, that's where the grill goes. You can get a duct to duct, obviously that's where a duct will go on both sides. So the fixings done from the inside here. In this particular job, it's a supermarket car park, so this is a vandal-proof grill that we're putting in. Now all the angles are going back on. These are called retaining angles. A couple of conditions with angles: they must be seated against the wall, they must be more than twice the width of the expansion gap, and any fixing holes that go in the angles must be slotted holes. So we're quickly tightening this up, and the last thing to do is to do a drop test. You complete a drop test by taking out the little brass link there, and in the event of a fire, that heats up, lets the curtain go, and the shutter shuts. Thanks for watching and learning.